In January 2019, in the frozen backcountry outside Chicken, Alaska, we walked away from $42,000 in gold because something was screaming under the riverbank. It was 50 below. The kind of cold that freezes your eyelashes together. The kind that makes metal snap like dry bone. The kind that reminds you Alaska doesn't care whether you live or die. Caleb and I had spent 3 months chasing that claim along the 40-mile river. Test pans were coming up. Heavy, real color, not flakes, not dust. Pickers. If we stayed 2 more weeks, we'd clear over 40 grand each. For 2 independent miners, that's not a season. That's survival. That's debt paid. That's breathing room. That morning, we were feeding a burn fire into the cut bank to thaw the permafrost when we heard it. Not wind, not a wolf, something else. A tearing sound, like metal dragged across rock. Then it came again. Closer, raw, furious, agonizing. Caleb stopped mid-swing with the pick. "That's a Wolverine," he said. "You don't mess with Wolverines. They're built like compact tanks with teeth, meaner than wolves, fearless enough to steal from bears. They don't scream unless something is very wrong." We followed the sound up. Half a mile later, we saw where the riverbank had collapsed, iron-rich soil frozen solid as concrete. A slab of frozen earth, the size of a refrigerator, had shifted, and beneath it, it moved. The Wolverine's back half was pinned under the slab, its hind leg locked in ice. Blood had frozen into the snow. It saw us. Its lips peeled back. Even trapped, it looked ready to fight to the death. Caleb exhaled slowly. "Leave it. That's nature." He wasn't wrong. This wasn't a pet. This wasn't a Disney moment. This was a predator that would shred us if it could reach us. But it tried to move, and when it did, the sound it made wasn't rage. It was pain. I don't know what flipped inside me. Maybe it was the memory of being pinned under a collapsed snowdrift years back. Maybe it was the way Alaska already takes so much from men like us. Or maybe it was the simple truth. We didn't need the gold as badly as that animal needed freedom. "We can move it," I said. Caleb looked at me like I'd just set fire to the sluice box. "It's 50 below. We've got picks, and we've got 3 days of food." The Wolverine tried to yank its leg free. The bone bent wrong. That decided it. We cut spruce poles, wrapped our gloves in extra canvas, loaded the rifle just in case it lunged. The first strike of the pickaxe rang like a church bell. The Wolverine roared. It thrashed, snapping at the pole we used to hold it back. Its breath came in violent bursts of steam. Every blow sent vibrations through the crushed limb. Every blow made it scream. 2 hours passed, then 3. Our boots stiffened. My toes went numb. Ice formed back over what we chipped away. At one point, Caleb stopped swinging. "This is $42,000. He wasn't talking about the slab. He was talking about what we were losing. Every hour spent here was pay dirt, freezing solid back at camp. Every hour meant less food, more risk. I looked at the animal, still fighting, still alive. "Hit it again," I said. We wedged the pick beneath the slab and heaved together. It shifted an inch. The Wolverine exploded with sound. Another heave. Another inch. Finally, the slab rolled enough to free the leg. The Wolverine collapsed sideways. The limb hung twisted. It didn't attack. It just lay there shaking. If we walked away then, it would die in a day. So we did something even dumber. We splinted it. Spruce sticks, torn flour sack, bare fingers working inches from teeth strong enough to crush bone. The Wolverine growled low the whole time, but it didn't bite. When we stepped back, it lay still. Then slowly, dragging the bad leg, it pulled itself toward the trees and disappeared. That night, the temperature dropped to 56 below. We barely slept. The next morning, we went back to the site. It was gone. Only drag marks leading into the timber, alive. 3 days later, tracks circled our cabin. Wolverine tracks. One leg slightly uneven, and near the woodpile, a snowshoe hair. Fresh kill. Caleb stared at it. "You think?" I didn't answer. We ate that hair. 2 days later, it happened again. A half-eaten grouse near the cut bank. Not coincidence. The storm hit after that. A real one. Whiteout, 60-mile winds. Temperatures crashing below 60. We were down to beans and flour. Firewood nearly gone. On the third night of the storm, something hit the cabin wall. Hard. Caleb grabbed the rifle. Another thud. Low growl. We stepped outside into blowing snow. 20 yards away stood the Wolverine. Bigger, somehow, stronger. Standing on all fours. Between us lay a fox carcass. It just watched. Then it turned and vanished into the trees. That fox fed us 3 days. 3 days that kept us from making a fatal decision. Because when the storm cleared, we saw what it had done. The section of riverbank we'd been mining had collapsed completely. If we'd stayed focused on gold instead of that animal, we might have been buried under it. $42,000 sat frozen under that rubble, gone. Caleb looked at the destruction for a long time. Then he laughed. Not angry, not bitter, just humbled. Well, he said, guess we got paid different. We packed up 2 days later. Not rich, not broke, just alive. On the morning we left, I walked to the spruce line alone. It was there, watching. Scar visible along its flank. Whole, wild, free. I raised my hand. It blinked once, then disappeared into the country that belonged to it long before men ever chased. Glitter in frozen earth. We lost the gold, but we walked away with something heavier. Proof that mercy still has weight, even at 50 below, even in Alaska. And sometimes, the most valuable thing you dig out of the earth is the part of yourself that chooses not to take